Okay, that's okay.
Oh, they were.
Yay! We have some themes that Reverend Sandy provides for us, and it's wonderful because we're a community where many people speak on Sunday. And so with that occurring, the themes kind of pull it all together for the month. Our themes for this month have been choice, will, and power. We also have a guest musician today. Well, he may be a regular musician. We're working on it. And that's Warren Cox. Hello, Warren. And Warren was introduced to us by Reverend Judy. Thank you, Reverend Judy. So before we go into meditation, Warren will be playing for us.
Do we have any newcomers this morning?
Yeah, I did miss that. We love to welcome our newcomers. Anybody here for the first time?
I can't hear.
Straight from Alaska.
Please feel free to let us know your name and we heard Alaska.
Matthew from Sitka, Alaska.
Sitka. Okay.
And
Carrie from Sitka.
Welcome to both of you. And I understand your family to somebody we know, maybe here?
Oh, that is my brother and his wife.
Wonderful. Mary Ellen says brother and sister-in-law. Fabulous. Okay, now, thank you for keeping me on track, Joe.
No problem.
Now we'll have Warren go ahead and lead us into meditation. There will be some music initially, and then we'll go into the silence. It is so good to rest into the Omni, the all in all, as all. Presence, knowing, power, loving, be. And gratitude and thanksgiving. Welcoming us, all of us back into the room, in each other's company. The next part of our service is where we invite up our practitioner for the spiritual thought of the day. And Jacque Stringer, here she comes.
Good morning, Jacque.
Welcome.
It's nice to be back home. I've been gone for a few weeks. Just normal family stuff, nothing too crazy. When I was little, my mom used to put me to sleep and say, do you want your door closed or do you want your door open? And I realized I did the same thing with my kids. And my kids always wanted the door closed. I always wanted the door open. For me, I always thought the door's open and an alien comes in, I can roll off my bed and I can get to my door and out to the hallway quicker. I always had this escape plan. And my kids, when I ask them, they're like, well, I can control what's in my room. I don't know what's out there, but I know what's in here. So it's funny how, you can look back on your childhood and realize that everything we do has a cost and a benefit. And a choice always makes you typically decide which one you want. And Patty mentioned the word decide being part of, I love learning the history of a word and language and what we're saying. When you decide, you're kind of killing off another choice. And as I got older, I realized, wow, like to make this choice, I'm gonna have to kill off this choice. And then it kind of became, as I got older, the cost benefit analysis to all my decisions seemed to be like, I'm stressed out about this. Until I realized that there is a middle path. And I don't have to be this way, I don't have to be that way, I can be my way. And I don't have to agree, I don't have to disagree. I can agree to not disagree. And that path has been so forgiving, not only to myself for not accepting some BS that I put onto my own self, just some BS. I'm like, why was I accepting of that? Because I thought I didn't have the choice. I thought it was my choice, but it never really was until I decided I don't have to make that choice. It was like, bing, light bulb, and it seems so small, but we grow up, first we're born, right? We're born in these huge souls that come into these tiny bodies, and we're put into the households that if we believe the way they believe, that's okay. Usually that's the only way. So the whole purpose of my choice is to know that I now can rest in my own heart and my own relationship with spirit to guide me and not be, I was always, I need to do. And now I'm like, I can just be and use my intention and my intuition and all my other God-given abilities to make the right choice. And I hope we all do. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacque. And we have a little bit more music here. Warren, thank you. Your first time here, so we'll have you it's not quite kneeling, standing, sitting, but there'll be a little. Thank you. the healing presence of music.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
And the dimensionality, the layers, oh my. It's kind of like prayer, you don't want to interrupt, even after it's done. It's like there's more going on. Speaking of more going on, we have our speaker for today, and he is Rev Joe Bull.
Oh, good morning. Wow, Warren, talk about putting me to sleep. Such a beautiful, beautiful note. I think it's Blackbird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, I haven't heard that in a long time. It's fabulous. I want to talk to you a little bit about power. How we get it, what is it? Where does it come from? What does it cost? There always seems to be a cost to everything these days. When we pray, what do we pray for specifically? I believe we must first pray to locate and find rest within us. No matter the circumstances, what's going on, we need to first stop and rest our minds, get clear, instead of letting our mind run with the situation that we're trying to deal with. Resting into Spirit, God, first and foremost. By the way, God is what I use for God. But God is also Spirit, provider, source. So however you want to name God is good with me too. When we rest, we relax our minds and allows us to then open our consciousness, which in turn opens and expands our awareness of what's going on around us. We have the power to do this. God's Spirit implanted the power in us to be able to open our minds up to see everything that we seek from within. The Bible says in Corinthians 13:13, there is no stronger power than the divine love of God. Because we are connected, we have that very same power that God has. I hope you know that. That power comes from within us. Our minds, meaning our brain, weighs about 3 pounds, by the way, in case you were wondering. Our brain weighs about 3 pounds, and maybe that's why we kind of get headaches sometimes and get off kilter, because we're carrying around this 3 pounds to the top of our body. I don't know, just a thought. But speaking of our brains for a moment, myth has it that we only use about 10% of our brain power. Well, this is not true. Scientists have told us that we use a great portion of our minds, our brain, every day, even when we're sleeping. So by relaxing ourselves, getting comfy, and focusing on our mind in meditation, we open our consciousness, which expands the awareness, as I said, to find that aha, or that answer that we are seeking. Sometimes we look so hard for the answer that we can't see it because we haven't stopped and relaxed ourselves. And let the mind relax and let that answer come to us. Because the answer is always right here, always. This, of course, allows us to see more possibilities. We rest our minds, release worry, doubt, fear, negative thoughts, not enoughness, as some people say. Rest in the power in God. That's when awareness shows up. Awareness, like anything else, is also already in us. Nothing has ever come to us that we need from outside of us. Everything comes from within us. All we need to do is open and expand the minds. But give yourself a break first. Rest. We are simply allowing ourselves to relax and feel our vibration level rise up. Everything opens up. When Luana and I started discovering these teachings, I was getting hooked on this fabulous power of positive thinking. I had never gone to a church before that was ever about anything positive. Well, maybe a few things positive, but mostly it was talking about hell and damnation and how I didn't measure up. And I kind of got tired of hearing that. So when I came to these, the first original Positive Living Center, it was quite a wake-up call for me. In Luke 17:21, God's power is within us, as it says, and if we accept it, it's up to us. If we accept it, it's there. Anyway, I couldn't wait to get back each and every Sunday to go back to the PLC to get inspired and re-energized again from the work week I had before. I was in a very tough type of career where a lot of negativity is coming at me all day long. And finally, it would just wear on me. By Wednesday, Thursday, I was just done and not in a very positive mood. So all this positive stuff lasted in me until about, like I said, Thursday. And I kid you not. And I fell back into the negative feelings again. And I couldn't wait to get back to the PLC to give me another interjection of this positive way of thinking. I've mentioned this before in the past. Over time, I started reading the textbook from Science of Mind. I started taking classes, started using the power for my good. People who knew me started asking me, what's come over you? Why do you seem so positive nowadays? So of course, my stat answer was alcohol. And initially it was. But now my answer is my spiritual connection with God, being a spiritual man. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, has said, the mind of God is mine. We are truly connected. Our intelligence responds to us. He goes on to say that we alone, as human beings, are the only thing in the way of our happiness, our satisfaction, our love. Nobody else is in your way except you and me. God waits on us to wake up and realize we have all that we need to enjoy our lives. And that's why I like to meditate every day. That's why I like to pray in the morning and pray at night. Just thanking God for another day. Our conscious awareness is alive and well, responding to our wants and to our needs. And our spiritual practices need to be used daily by us. I have pushed this before, and I'll keep pushing it at you. This is how a new practice and habit is developed, by constantly sitting down day after day and doing your spiritual practices, whatever they are, whatever works for you. The power within us, what does that mean exactly? It's described as having a sense of confidence, dignity, and self-esteem that comes from gaining awareness of one's situation and realizing the possibility of doing something about it. Sometimes we try to turn away from a situation, but sometimes that situation is for us to do. It's ours to take care of. It's hard to ignore some things. And like I said, how do we find and use this power? Spiritual practices. Practice, practice, practice. Acknowledge and declare our ambitions. Replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations. Support and advocate for yourself and for others. Ask for help when you need it. Ask for help when you need it. Myself and all the ministers and practitioners invite you to contact us anytime you want to just talk. If you just want to have a sounding board, I'm here. Acknowledge your fears, face them, and they will weaken and disappear. It's like Jackie's talking about her room. Her kid says, I know what's in my room. She knows what's in her room. We don't know what's outside that room. That scares me. God is for us all, not against anything. As human beings, we could become against things, depending on what we decide or believe. We start feeling we're against something, Doesn't that bother you inside your gut? It does for me. I don't want to think about what it is I don't like because it bothers me inside. I release and let go of that. It does not serve us. We get caught up in the circumstances of a situation, and it's tough to get past it, isn't it? But we can and do all the time. Either by ourselves, with God's help, or maybe by talking to a friend. Personal power develops our courage, attention, and purpose. We must have purpose, don't we? We should have purpose. Otherwise, what are we doing every day? We're here on purpose. We know this. Giving ourselves time to think and learn to trust in our own ideas of what's right for us as individuals. We are in the muck of the moment, as I like to say. We simply need to calm ourselves and then realize we are looking in the wrong direction. Many speakers up here have told you, if you're walking down a road and it's not serving you, go down a different road. Turn around, go the other way. Don't keep trying down the same road that's not working for you. There are other options, always. We need to stop, turn away and say, enough of this. I'm done with this. And who is keeping us from our good, our power, our want? Like I said, we are, nobody else. Can't blame somebody else. It's up to you. Granted, sometime came along and started this mess, but we are now trying to fix it. And if it's not ours to do, let it go. Let it go. Realize that it's not yours to own and try to fix. Let it go. Nothing worse than keeping something alive that doesn't serve us. Our next move is to stop and go within. Use our power that God's Spirit gifted us with. Sit down, like I said, and meditate and pray before you take the next step that you need to take if you're in a tough situation. And I've said this before, for every problem, there's a solution. Always. I don't care what the problem is. There is a solution. And our personal power is granted by God's Spirit. We know this. That which is in us is more powerful than anything outside of us. That is guaranteed. We can get caught up in a situation in our minds, and our minds can simply just run away with it. Just run away. It's happened to me a number of times in my past, and I just had to just stop and call a friend and say, remind me that I'm okay. Like when I had a personal anxiety attack over something. I got a hold of a friend. I said, just talk to me. Just talk to me and tell me I'm okay. I was frozen in time. This is when you don't want to say what you don't want to experience. We don't pray for things we don't want, right? To get still and know God's Spirit is right here all the time for us. We turn our attention to go within, then we can realize we need to turn around and, like I said, go a different direction. We have that choice. We have that power within. Our power, by the way, is only an idea until we put it into action. It's there whenever we want it. When we get still, we feel our consciousness expanding. Our awareness is open and we rise above the problems, don't we? If you sit down with a practitioner or a minister and you're talking to them about your situation, you will feel that minister or practitioner rise above that situation. Get above it and look down upon it. Not try to take it on head on. Because we can get above and beyond any situation. And we remind you of that anytime. And the power we already possess takes over, and our true intention appears. Always. And our silence brings insight, and it's so liberating. You can feel when you've been liberated from something. It's like breaking chains. You're finally free from this thing. As I said, God waits for us to wake up and realize. Because God is right here. God never goes anywhere. Right there for us. God's waiting for us. I used to think that I was waiting on God to appear. God says, I'm here. Call upon me when you're ready. That's a given. Close your eyes with me, please. Take a deep breath in and out. Take another breath. We do this and we're releasing and letting go of anything and everything that might be harboring us. No thing can stop us from our good. We do have the power to be positive, to be loving, to be kind to ourselves and kind to others in any given situation. It is our birthright. As I said, our power opens up all the possibilities. The answer we've been looking for is right here with us the whole time. We need not seek further. And now we see it. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
For a second there, I thought he was, because he hosts a lot, I thought he was going to go ahead and just go, okay, I'm going to take it from here. Maybe I was hoping.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Thank you, Joe. Feel your heart so deeply. And now we're in the part of our service where we do the offertory. Are there two people who'd be willing to come on up? And let me see, they're right there. One more. We got, she's coming. Thank you, Mary Ellen. Thank you, Judy. Okay, before they step down, we'll go ahead and do our offertory prayer. And if you're new, you might not know that prayer, so it's in the little white card, or those cards that are in the pockets behind the chairs. And so the one for the offertory is, divine love flowing through me, blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive.
come on.
And for everyone on Zoom, do we have a new person on Zoom today, Sandy? Or we are all pretty much
Ones that we've had before.
experienced people on Zoom. So we know how to give on Zoom, so thank you very much for your tithing. I was gonna give all the instructions, but everybody's an expert on Zoom, and so they already know, and so I don't have to give the instructions. But
And Missy's not there to post.
and Missy's not there to post anyway, so.
We're just chatting over here.
It's good, it's good. We're giving everybody time, it's all good.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
And so now it's time for announcements. Do we have any announcements? Laura?
My old lady one.
Hi.
Good morning.
So we've been partnering with the Sierra Lions Club. I don't know if you guys know that. And Mary Ann, the other board member, and I were invited to an experiential event with them. And it was called Dinner in the Dark. And so basically they support the blind school that they do here in Awani, I think it's called. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, they collect glasses for people, and they collect hearing aids and things like that. And the event was really interesting experience because we all lined up in the entrance, and we had to put blindfolds on, and we had to walk, you know, with our hand on the shoulder of the person in front of us. And we ate with the blindfolds on, and they were real careful to say we're serving on our left, we're retrieving dishes on our right, and things like that. It was just a really neat, really interesting experience. Anyway, so as part of our partnership with the Sierra Lions Club, they want us to donate old glasses or hearing aids and put them in this box, and when it's full, I'll call them and they'll come and get it. So I'm gonna put this in the kitchen, and as you think of it during the week, bring your old glasses. I know I have some that I need to dig down in my drawers and find. So I'm hoping that we can fill this up pretty quickly. So it's a really wonderful program. So thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Yes, Karen?
I would like to thank everybody for the prayer circle and all the extra prayers for my son-in-law. He made it through the surgery, and they think they got all the cancer, but it was pretty extensive. So continued prayers would be nice, but he is out of the hospital. And I just wanted to thank everybody because it means a lot to me, to my daughter, to my whole family. So thank you so much.
Judy?
Good morning.
Good morning.
On the second Saturday of every month, we have a flute circle and a drum circle. The flute circle starts at 2 o'clock. And if you don't have a flute, John Lalonde does. And so you're welcome to participate. And John is an incredibly good teacher. And that runs till 3:30. And then at 4 o'clock, we have the drum circle. And there is a large mother drum that we utilize. You can bring your own drums, but if you don't have any, we have some that you can use. So drums, rattles, ceremony, vibration, sound, all equals that life force that's within us. And you are all welcome.
Any more announcements? Any other announcements? We do have our annual meeting following the service today, so please stick around if you're willing and able to be part of that meeting. I would also like to thank everyone who participated in our little bit of spring cleanup that we did. I'd like to thank Brian for helping us to get the shed usable again. Thank you for doing that midweek. And then we had Carolyn and Judy and Kim and myself and Joe and Barney and Tammy and Leanne, all here when we were cleaning out the library. So check out the library, the Lending Library. And if you just want to pat us on the back, you can look in the closet too, because it looks really good. Yes. There's that, oh, you guys did so good. So thank you everyone that served. Really, truly, many hands make for light work. Thank you. Our prayer partner for the week is Jacque. Jacque will be back in the back of the room and available to go in the meditation room with you for prayer. We also have a little frog box in the left corner of near the front door, and that's for if you're heading out and you just want to write down a prayer request. And then Joe will make sure that it gets to the entire prayer team. So if you do put something in the frog box, it gets to us and we pray on it. Yes, Judy.
Because it's spring and it's weed whacking time, I know that my friend Alan he does that, and so does John Stanley. So there are resources that we have in this group that you might want to stop and talk to in case you have a need.
Love that. And Reverend Sandy is our speaker next week. So just a heads up about that. And of course, it'll be a new month. It'll be May. Wow. I know, huh? So if you'll join me now, we'll go ahead and, oh wait, was there anything else I needed to? Oh, there is one more announcement. I spoke about having the class starting the first week of May. Well, with that and other things we're up to, I decided to pass it to the second week in May. And this week for sure, there'll be something in the bulletin. If you're not on our bulletin weekly email list, please know I'd be happy to get you on that list. And right in between the two bathrooms, there's some sheets in there, and it's for your name and your email address. And then we'll get you on that email list, okay? Just pass that to me once you filled it in. Okay, that's it. Housekeeping, everything, ta-da. Now we'll do the prayer of protection. That's also on that little handout thing. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Namaste. Warren, a little bit of music to send us out.
Thanks for
And of
being here
course,
today, Warren.
Thank you so much. And of course, Reverend Sandy will do our closing prayer afterwards.